Ironwood Games. This is Andrew, and we're going to jump into our games for our quick draft Crimson Vow. If you stayed with us, you saw the whole draft. If you decided not to watch that, welcome in for the games. We have a nice black-green deck, and we're going to take it out for a spin and see how it does. Hopefully not bad, but we'll find out. Alright, we saw a bunch of cards through it, so even though I don't have a ton of experience with this environment, I don't know all the tricks and things, we do have some idea of what we can see. Yeah, I'm going to keep this. We've got a turn 2 into like a turn 3 to a turn 5. If we want, we can, so we got options here, and it's got kind of all the makings of a decent deck here. Alright, our opponent played out an island, playing double blue. Aha, so it looks like maybe some zombies. And that is fine with us. We don't have any reason to play the green, so we'll keep it hidden from our opponent. So the Bloodsworn Sworn Squire, yeah, we won't block. That's fine. Lets us discard, which will transform our witch. Discarding Person's Specimen is a great discard outlet. The blood tokens also let us discard. The question is, if we play this, we can ramp if we draw the card next turn. I'm going to play the Persistent Specimen out because it can block and trade. No attacks. And or we can use it to exploit if we draw a land. Because we can't discard next turn with the Bloodsworn Squire anyway, so we might as well play out all of our cards. Yeah, that's fine. We're going to block here. We'll take 2 more in the air. Let our opponent search out some other throngs for card advantage. It looks like they failed to find. So here is the case. We didn't draw that land, so playing that out to be able to play one of our creatures is actually really, really good. So the flying is problematic. I think we're going to create the blood token. If our opponent wants to block, then it has the menace. No attacks. I am happy to... oh, and they can't block because this can only block things with flying. Next. One attacker. Decline. Alright, and then at the beginning of your end step, so I can... I think if I do this correctly, oh, it returns to the battlefield. I thought it returned to my hand and then I could discard it. So it doesn't. I do want to flip this witch, so I still am going to sacrifice. I just don't know what I'm going to discard. I think we'll discard the Flourishing Hunter. We need to draw 2 lands for it. It's a ways off. We get to transform into the Odious Witch, which will help gain some life and put our opponent in kind of a bad spot here. So yeah, so now we can next turn exploit. Runo Stromkirk is pretty good. It's definitely something we could see ourselves Grizzly Ritualing. Which we might if we draw a land. Now, of course, we have the land. We could have played our Hunter. So yeah, I think... don't really want my opponent to transform that Runo, so we'll kill it. They have 2 blue up, so I suppose they could counter it. Which we, I guess, didn't consider, and that was a mistake. Oh yeah, that's perfectly fine. Yeah, we goofed on that one. We might still win despite it. Since our opponent's running low on cards. Not getting the blood tokens will kind of hurt as well. Oh, good. Okay. That's actually good for us, and the reason it's good is because we're going to play the Gargantua, and they have to sacrifice a creature, so they either sacrifice their blocker and the Runo, which could be problematic, or they sacrifice the thing they equipped up. And I'm honestly fine with either one. This wasn't going to attack into that board anyways. Yeah, and then we get to attack. We're still a little bit behind, and at this point having the life gain from the wolf that we discarded would have been really great. And I suppose we should have kept it over the Gluttonous Gifts. Our opponent just having all these flyers is really causing us problems. We'll just say that. Do we... So we can, like, draw a card. And since we can't block these flyers, so 5 and 5, it would force our opponent to block. We gain a life. They can't kill us. Oh, they can. This doesn't have trample and menace. I was thinking they'd have to double block here, so I think we blew it. I don't know, though. Because we're at 6, and they have 6 in the air exactly. Do we have anything? Like, we can exile something from the graveyard. I don't think it does anything. And we can return this to the battlefield. Yeah, we made a couple of misplays there on that. I think my opponent attacks with both of these creatures, and we're just dead. Alright. Let's see. Let's hope for a better one here. If we had... I don't know. If we had not gotten that spell countered, we should have played that one differently. That's alright. Let's go to game 2. While I'm recording these, it is, I will say, late, and I have been quite exhausted. Not to make excuses, and but even yesterday when I was at draft, had some silly misplays and just not seeing things on board in it, and oh, this Piper is so good. But like, is the rest of the hand good? I don't know. I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it off of the potential. And what will happen is we'll probably flood, and then it won't matter that we have Piper, because we'll have so many lands we could have played everything anyways. Wedding Invitation, very, very good. Yeah, and yeah, we're exactly doing that. We are definitely drawing all the lands, because if I keep 4 lands, then my deck always wants to punish me by letting us draw more lands. And then we draw our ramp spell, like, beautiful. Beautiful. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I am tempted to not play a land so that we can discard a card, but that would involve then not playing anything next turn as well, and that's just stupid. So we will play out a forest. Next turn we play a swamp. We've got both our colors in doubles. That would have been good last turn. So our opponent hasn't done much of anything. Putting the Piper on to start looking at, like, to be able to transform and look at cards might be the best play. I don't think in black-white they have any interaction with that. Is if our opponent doesn't do anything, again, it turns night. Yeah, so I don't know if our opponent kept a sketchy hand as well. Alright, choose a creature. I reveal a creature and put it into my hand. So, we will, I think, take the sharpshooter. We kind of want to play 2 cards, 2 spells, because we would like it to turn back into day, so that our opponent can... so then either we, or our opponent or us, either way, can then turn it back into night and get that card advantage. Yeah, sure, you get to destroy the attacking creature. So at that point now it doesn't really matter. Got rid of one of our better creatures, but we don't have any of our big stuff. We've got enough land This one's kind of doing okay. So I think what we're going to do, just to advance the board state the most, is we're going to look at cards and we're going to put lands in just to filter our deck, have better chance of drawing stuff off the top. Cool. We could play Honored Heirloom. Nothing we have has... Our opponent is just stuck on 2 lands, and that's really bad for them. But unfortunately, not bad for us. If they draw some things, it can become bad. So we'll probably keep this forced to sack. And then I don't think there's anything in the graveyard we need to exile. But we'll need to remember we can't do that over time. It looks really bad for our opponent. If they do draw into some lands, then they'll get... Oh, that's unfortunate. So it looks like I didn't even realize they're running red, and not even hitting that. So they hit a 3rd land, but it is white. So they could have another retribution. All right, so they didn't get what they needed and decided not to stick with it. So we got a victory on that one, even though it wasn't the greatest keep and our deck didn't do well on us. We did draw into what we needed. Picked up a couple of good draws and getting into 1 win. So 1 win, 1 loss, game 3. Here we go. Waiting for an opponent. Alright, we got a silver opponent. I didn't do, I think, any limited events last month, so my ranking dropped. We're going to keep this. Lumbernaught is not the greatest card in this deck. We didn't get a lot of things that play with it, but I think it's still a fine card. Here we got a Recluse. We now have a turn 3 play. If we draw another land, we have a turn 4. We've got 5 and 6 kind of as we go, so we're looking pretty decent here. Do we play another Recluse, or do we pump one of the ones? No, I think we play another... Well, let's next attack. I think we'll play a Recluse. My opponent is playing black, which means they could have a way to remove some things, and we do get to draw the card off of it, but if we don't draw a land, then we can play that next turn. And hopefully draw a land. Alright, our opponent got themselves a Desperate Farmer. Which is a good card. I really do like it. When the creature control dies, transform it. How much do they want it? That's the question. How important is that going to be to their plan? Are they willing to trade it for one of our creatures here? Or do they want to keep it alive to be able to put something else down to trade and then transform it? Which I do think makes sense. It's a really good card, and getting that lifelink is going to be important. On that, we need to find a way to discard a card. All right, Mr. Opponent, what have you got? I don't know that... Well, depending on what my opponent plays... oh, that's fine. If we draw that land, we might... Especially now, we probably will exploit. But if you're offering me the trade, I'll take the trade. Just to clear out your thing. And now we won't exploit. We don't need to. The Ancient Lumber not critical to our plans? Sure. Kill another thing. We will put it on here because it's the only play we have, drawing another card. It does let us attack for one more. And we do need to get into some lands. We haven't yet. That's fine. We still have control of the board at this point. Our opponents had some decent removal things. I'm assuming they have some vampires because of the Gift of Fangs. Yeah, that one's a good one. As we said, I think there's two creatures in here. So this is at least a 4/4. Which then we can double block and trade. Yeah, I think that's fine. To, of course, mill 3 lands off the top. Not that we needed 3 lands, but a land would have been nice. But the Flourishing Hunter is fine. And then our opponent gets a choice here. Unless they've got like another Gift of Fangs or something to really stick it to us. Oh, perfect. So I would love for them to attack, because then we can Rot Tide to take out this Unhallowed Phalanx. It's just going to block so well. And they won't sack it, I don't think. To it. This would have been great with our Lumberknot. Even with the Flourishing Hunter, that's a great card. Let's see what our opponent wants to do. Decided not to attack. That's fine. The question is, will we attack? No, we put Bloodsworn Squire in. That's fine. And I think we play out our Apprentice Sharpshooter. I will attack with this if our opponent wants to block and trade there. That's fine. Yeah, I'm fine with that. And now we can Rot Tide away a Sharpshooter to get rid of that, depending on what they can put on the board. Toughness is 4 across the board, so it doesn't matter on that. So I can put out Flourishing Hunter. To gain the life, but I will if they only have 1 creature on board, and it's this big one. Oh, that's actually a pretty good card, so I think we will get them to sacrifice something, because either the Blood Harvester or that are both really bad for us. But before we do that, so we could also... Let's see what our opponent does. We're going to attack to get our training. Let's see, Boarded Windows is really annoying, but so is this guy. I think we worked to flip. We create the blood token. I think we sack it, discard Swamp, gain a life, we draw a card. Oh, we can bleed something dry. Okay. That will kill the Unhallowed Phalanx. We're doing fine. So, yeah, now you can kill the Gluttonous Guest. Okay, this is pretty good. We're in a good spot. If this survives, we can do, again, the training. The Boarded Window doesn't stop us. We're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We need 5, 4, 9 altogether. Yeah, okay. So you kill off that guy. That's fine. We'll Bleed Dry. Well, we'll Rot Tide Gargantua. The Gluttonous Guest. After attacks? Well, you block there. I don't know. We'll have to decide. Because we could also Flourishing Hunter. But like having control over what gets sacked is really, really good. And so we want to try and exploit when our opponent has only 1 creature on board. The fact that we can Bleed Dry, this actually makes it not terrible. The Boarded Window makes it really annoying. So the question is, if we Flourishing Hunter, we don't attack. We attack next turn. We don't get rid of anything. No, we're better off to exploit the Gluttonous Guest. Because then we can still attack with both and do the training next turn. If we weren't going to attack anyways, and then we can play Flourishing Hunter after the training and get 6 life. Or we can play Bleed Dry. To get rid of the blocker, and then 8 damage gets through, again, depending on what our opponent does. They're running low on cards, They do have the blood tokens to cycle through and filter out some things. But it would be nice if we could get through the boarded window. Sure, Courier Bat is good. Without being able to gain life, that's actually decent for us. The Howlpack Piper is interesting. Do we just lead dry the Unhallowed Phalanx? And then we can attack? Yeah. I think that's right. Unless they have a way to save it. Which, if we do, we get the last card out of their hand. And we are going to start to try and get big guys wide to... get through it anyways. Yeah, that's... gone. I don't know what the card our opponent has in hand is. If it's good and they just couldn't play it. Otherwise, they should... I would think they should discard and sack. Because I'm not doing everything, I'm not playing... Well, 6 and... yeah, 4 is 10. I'm going to keep that just in case we do need to discard. We do get another blood token or something to discard. We'll do it here unless our opponent can put something down, which I assume they have. Yeah, something big. They will die to our boarded window. Here is also the problem. We kind of want to get this online. The 6 means I don't really want to attack with... that. We'll go to next combat. Yeah, the training will keep him from dying to this. So our opponent probably just takes 3 and accepts the trade here. They don't have to. They could have a bounce here, but then they take 6, and that boarding window dies. So I think that's overall probably better for them. Yeah, they should kill Howlpack Piper, which I didn't consider that play, and so it was silly to play it out before combat, but that's all right because we have got... like, we could attach this, but it doesn't kill our opponent. So I think we just go for damage. And now, between the 2 of these, that's lethal. If our opponent can't block both of them. Oh, the boarded window is still a problem, but I think they kind of saw that as well. All right, and we got to rank up, and we've got 2 wins for our 1 loss. So pretty decent so far. I'll take it. Again, my base goal is always to get to 3 wins before I get to 3 losses. So we'll do that. So that's games 1, 2, and 3. We're gonna end the video here. It's been fun. Jump in, find the next video. We'll play the next couple of games, and we'll see how we do. Thanks. Bye.